On this episode with Optimus Grime, we attack the back half of our frame rails so we stop the rust.
That's right. It is time to put brake chambers, airbags, all that good stuff on there. But we're not going to do that until we have really nice paint on it. So that's what's in this episode.
Giant thanks to CRC for being the supporting sponsor of this build. We cannot thank them enough. Y'all go buy Brakleen, y'all go buy all the good CRC stuff to say thank you. We love CRC, and CRC loves Flying Sparks Garage, so we are so grateful. Let's get to work. Your girl's gonna try some sandblasting. These frame rails need to look different, so I'm gonna give it a shot. So that did pretty dang good in that little bitty area. It's a tiny, tiny section that this gun does, at least with the amount of sand that it was picking up. We've had this unit a long time and I haven't used it much on my own. The grain I feel like is pretty small, but I'm not super familiar with sandblasting. I did some Googling and this stuff came up when sandblasting rusty metal. So I grabbed this at Tractor Supply. It doesn't seem like it's picking up that much. I kept like knocking this thing around, like picking it up and shaking it, trying to get more sand through it because I don't know, it was just kind of slow. But maybe I'm just rushing it. But I really kind of want to try this stuff instead of just the basic sand. I don't know if this is even basic sand. But I brought a bucket and I'm going to empty the current sand into the bucket and try this black diamond stuff. So let's give that a shot. Oh, dang, gust of wind got y'all. You okay? Sheesh. We'll have some of the old sand in the hose until the new stuff gets in there, but let's give it a shot. As you can tell, my trigger is hanging on this gun. I would say it needs to be lubricated, but it looks kind of oily in there, so I don't think that's the problem. I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't seem like it's picking this stuff up at all. And it wasn't picking up that little sand great, but it was picking it up some. I just ran to the hardware store and I've made a modification to my tool. I added a clear hose so I can see if it's pulling sand. And if it's not, then I can cross that bridge, but at least I'll know. This sand is quite coarse. Not really even sand. So that could be a problem. Okay, well then, that was illuminating. It was pulling sand wonderfully until some of it got up here, and then it looks like it just clogged it. So let's take this apart. Okay, I have those two pieces apart, and I see sand inside the gun, so it's getting to this point. Weird. Okay, I am going to try the old sand again, thinking that this gun isn't built to pick up more coarse stuff, so I was making progress with the other sand. It was just very slow, so I'm gonna see how it looks with this clear hose and keep trying. guess my last straw before I go buy a new one is to take this Allen head bolt out and see if there's some kind of clogged something here. The kid just got here and I was explaining to her what's going on. I actually went and took this apart and cleaned it all.
Guys, it got me. I need one of those.
Do you feel sand?
Yeah.
But it's not working.
When you first did it, it did work.
But like it just stops right there and it's not working on the frame rail. It did very first. It's very disappointing. I want the blast.
The blast. Where did this tool come from?
Dude, we might have bought it at a garage sale when we were teenagers.
What?
I've had this thing for a long time.
Maybe it's time to upgrade.
I'm surrendering. We're going shopping. We're at Tractor Supply. I thought I was recording and I wasn't, so she's laughing at me.
Yeah.
Her use.
It's your phone. It's not your fault.
Yeah, my phone does this to me at times. This is what we found, and we think that it's going to be a game changer. Putting some nylon tape on this here fitting, and then I'm going to be putting it on the hose and seeing if this thing works. So kid, do you want to flip it selfie and show them that you got perfect attire on?
Yes. Okay. I have my jean jacket. Got pants on now, so I won't get blasted by sand. And I'm munching. Hold there.
Let me get a face shield.
Oh yeah, I need a face shield.
Yeah, got you. Now we get to see if this thing works like it looks like it will.
That's so dumb.
It's oil.
I spent $30 on that. Let's see what happens. That is for sure doing something.
That's working. You want to give it a shot?
No. Wow. Wow.
It gets everywhere.
Yes. It was like stinging my neck. It's a powerful tool. Thank you.
Maybe that'll help.
Better.
This one seems to be working pretty good on this paint. This, I'm not super happy with the way the frame's rusted there. You would never know it if you hadn't taken that fifth wheel off, but it just is what it is.
Yeah, I only made this tiny bit of progress with the sandblaster yesterday, and then Aaron just like whips in here and just bangs this whole piece of this frame out when he was just playing with that attachment, like that thing. Dang. Yep, that's the answer. Now that we know that's gonna work really well on the frames, Aaron is going to get the cutting torch out and drop this other tank prepped to get our new ones in there, which is gonna be so nice.
Emily's trying to get the big chunks off.
Yeah.
The challenge with it is it's grease, years and years of grease, and then dirt, and then more grease, and then sitting outside for 20 years. It basically turns into like a clay pond.
Yeah. It's like real cake.
So we're gonna get some of that off. And then we're gonna soak the whole thing in this foaming degreaser. And if we can talk the kid into it, she's gonna power wash it for us. Because she likes running that machine. Overall, it's looking really good. Got a lot of the grunge off, a lot of the layers of paint, especially out here where it needs to be pretty. On the inside, we still have sun, but we're hoping the power washer is going to take some of this off. Progress.
That's right. So I was just underneath the cab, the sleeper really, of the truck. And I have my little scraper. And I had to take my glove off to film, by the way, so that's why my hand is clean. And the sheer amount of grease that is underneath the frames and underneath the actual sleeper is wild. We have so much work to do to restore the frames from the sleeper forward. So that will be on an upcoming, like the full resto part of this truck. From here, we're just getting paint on the part back there that's rusty that needs to be preserved. This is quite preserved with the thick grease. Yeah.
Whoa.
So
In the
fun.
back?
Yeah. I scraped a lot of the grease off, but I just want to be sure and get everything off. The kid has her.
You're hurting me. Thank you.
I am?
Yeah, it was like, it's really tight on my head.
Okay.
I could pass out in a minute, you never know.
It's pitiful.
Anyways.
I just started to say that the kid has her face shield on and she's about to go wild with the power washer. And go. Well, it's far from perfect, but what we couldn't get with the grinder in these like inside of the frames areas, I was able to like really put some power wash in there and a lot of it blew off. There's a lot of red paint on the grass now. And tomorrow is prep for paint and then paint. Ooh, wow. Aaron is testing out this gun. And it is a beast.
I'd lay some paint down real quick like.
Oh my goodness. We need to move the Audi.
Yeah, we might need to like move that house. Jeez.
Everything's gonna be black. Holy cow. And
serious.
it literally looks like it wants to rain this morning. Texas.
Okay. It's been hard getting some episodes out to you guys. Like everything's fighting us. But I'm gonna move the Audi and we're gonna spray with the rain if we have to.
I don't think he means that, but I don't know. Okie dokie, while Aaron works on adjusting that gun to his liking, I'm going to put my gloves on and take some, I think this was mineral spirits. Yeah, mineral spirits, and wipe a bunch of the surface of the frame. We do have some surface rust from our power washing last night. So we're just gonna wipe that down, make sure most of the contaminants are away, and spray this bad boy. I'm stoked.
I'm just gonna try to adjust this gun a little bit to slow that flow down. Yeah, there we go. A little more. A little more. Yep, that'll work. Cool. So what we're going to do is we've got some Rust-Oleum. I bought a gallon of it. After testing this system, we might need more than a gallon. This stuff's spraying out at a very high volume. Running, they say no more than 60 pounds into this pressure pot. Yeah, it's just a cheapo I picked up online. The reason I wanted this is because I need to get up in the frames and stuff like that, so I can adjust the gun to spray in there. The idea is just get something thick on it that's going to stop any future rusting and stuff like that. So this is an experiment. We're just going to go with it. We got this Rust-Oleum. They advertise it as like an equipment paint, and I've used it a lot in the past for fences and things like that. They're harsh and out in the sun all the time. So I'm just going to put my mask on and start playing around.
Thing's got some pressure.
I've got it adjusted so it's spraying like a circle, so I can just get in behind those hoses and stuff like that. I can fan it back out and do the bigger parts like that. This corner over here, I took my mask off so I can talk for just a second. So we're gonna run this, it adjusts the fan. I don't know what you officially call it. Run it all the way in. So you can see over here where I've got hoses and stuff. Already out of paint. That was about maybe a little bit more than a quart that I had in there. I've got this thinned out with acetone, and I think I could thin it a little bit more, but I like how thick it's going on, so we'll probably just leave it at that, and if we get runs in it, we get runs in it. I mean, these are frames and they're not perfect anyways, so we're not going for like a show car finish here. We just want it coated and really thick. You can see how thick that paint is, so we're just going to cut it with some acetone, and I'm not really measuring. It's an educated guess, let's just call it that.
per usual, it might not be perfect, but it's done. It will not be rusting anymore. There are runs. That paint was insanely thick. Thankfully oil-based, so it's coming off. Should have worn long sleeves. I know. But it was awesome. Such a fun job, actually. Like, very satisfying to see that beautiful paint just cover that frame. Oh my gosh. So cool. I have paint in my hair. Well, Optimus Grime is feeling fresh and awesome.
Yep, looks so much better. That was just a mess back there. We've got a lot of cool parts to put on, and now we can. It's painted. It took us about a week to get it all ready to paint, so that's what you get.
Yeah, we thought that we would get a whole lot more into this episode, but actual like restoring that frame took a lot longer than we expected.
That was a lot of work.
On the next Peterbilt episode, you will be seeing exhaust and the other breather go on, and fuel tanks and wheels. We have so much good stuff coming up on this truck, and of course, you guys will be along for the ride. Giant thanks to CRC for making it all happen, and we'll see y'all on the next episode.